You know, I think recently I had talked about my backhand and how deficient it can be. I think I referred to adding a hitch in my swing. I was taking the racket back, and for some reason or other, I took it even further back. I don't know why I was doing that. I seem to have fixed that problem, and one day hitting up here with one of our junior girls, I started having problems again with my backhand. Just seemed to be framing balls and throwing them everywhere. I mean, clank here, clank there, rattling the racket in my hand. And I remember sometime toward the end of our time together, the young lady looked over at me and she said, "Jeff, you're on your back foot today." Uh, she was right. What she basically was trying to remind me to do was step into the stroke. You know, don't try to hit that thing back here, wave like a windshield wiper blade. Step into the stroke. And I mean, and it fixed it almost immediately. But you know what that spoke to me and how it spoke to me? Do you know where I had heard that before? It had come out of my mouth to her. A very accomplished young junior player, great strokes, very good backhand. And the number of times I've looked at her and said, "Amelia, you step into that backhand, get off that back foot." And it just reminded me of some things in the scriptures, and especially how we as Christians, we've been given this precious treasure, the Bible, and how we present the Bible to others ought to be as such, with an enthusiasm and an interest and a passion that would somehow compel them to be willing to pass that along to someone else. Here I'm being corrected on my backhand, and the very thing coming forth toward me was something that had come out of my mouth toward her. It was something that I had entrusted to her, and now she's sharing it as well. Paul wrote this in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. He said, "And the things that you've heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others." It's almost like we have 3 or 4 generations here of sharing the word. You've got Paul. He's entrusted it to someone. They in turn are being encouraged to entrust that to someone else who they hope will entrust to someone else. And it's kind of like instruction in tennis. You hope you'll take that, and you hope someday they'll be willing to share that with other people. I just pray that, hey, our passion, our interest, our enthusiasm for sharing the word, the good news of the gospel, of what Jesus Christ came to do and how that can apply to someone else's life. I just pray that our interest and enthusiasm will be as such to where people will take that and have a willingness to share that with other folk. Hey, it was kind of a reminder to me, and I'm glad she thought enough to correct me. But I'm thankful that she took something that had been deposited into her, and she was willing to share that with someone else. Hey, isn't tennis a grand game? A lot of life in tennis. Hey, tennis anyone?